Hi Aries, this is your April 2024 soul story. Happy solar returns if you've got a sun rising or your moon is in the sign. This reading might resonate. It's Romy. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel for this incredibly exciting month ahead for you. We're opening up with the energy of strength, and that's not a surprise to me. I think this is set to be an incredibly intense, exhilarating, enlightening, and at times frustrating month ahead for you. Huge gain can take place in this month of April. We're going to be seeing so many of the planets moving into your sign. Mercury already in Aries, and of course going to be turning retrograde from the first of the month, which is going to add to some of that frustration because everything else is gearing up for this follow through, this momentum. And you know, your currency is in demand. Venus is also shifting into your sign from the 4th of the month. And, you know, as we merge pieces from the past and we help to make sense of, you know, the value that we're now attributing to things, you know, you have some really clear ideas about what needs to happen. And of course, we're building to this huge solar eclipse in your sign, Aries, on the 8th of the month, which is bringing about a very destined karmic clearance for you. And if you have felt that you've been in this kind of drifter energy for some time, you're certainly about to see that coming to an end. There's a real fire in your belly through the month, and strength is just helping to ground you, but it's also supporting that feeling that you have that it's kind of now or never. And even though you don't necessarily know all of the kind of how, you absolutely know the what in terms of the shifts and the changes that you're looking for. And I think there's this, you know, present version of you right now that's begging you to be here now and to kind of witness what is happening around you and really notice the details so that you don't overlook the significance and the power of energy that is around you at the moment to help facilitate things in your pathway. You've got the Two of Cups coming in here, and there's this merging, this bonding experience that's taking place, whether that be with another person or just something in your life that's kind of coming in April, and it's set to be ignited by that eclipse energy. Now we know that these, you know, energies can come in and kind of be quite disruptive. They can certainly bring about some surprising events and situations, and this, along with the fact that on the 20th we have Jupiter conjunct with Taurus coming in, this incredibly rare aspect. Last time it happened in Taurus, 1941, and so there's this tremendous capacity for surprises, for gain, for financial shifts to happen in your life. And as this present version of you is wanting you to be here in the here and now, your past version is saying, learn from everything that you've been through, embody it. And the future self is saying, come on, you know, you are needing to be fearless and bold and inspired right now. And remember that all that you desire, all that you seek is wrapped up in the actions that you take in the day-to-day moments that are going to be strung together through this month of April. So it's a real game changer for you. Now, I think that eclipse energy coming in and around the 8th, with the new moon, also beginning of that astrological year, you know, is set to bring about a mixed bag, if you like. You know, we've got the devil coming through here, and so it's like you're very aware of the things that are holding you back. You're very aware of where temptation is like trying to distract you or convince you of the merit of perhaps taking an alternate route, or of doing nothing, or of staying in the comfort zone, or of returning to a more addictive way of showing up. And yet we see the clear doorway here, and so at the same time there's this bigger part of you that's just ready and showing up in the sense of like, okay, it's just time. It's time to deal with this. It's time to acknowledge it. It's time to do something about it. And, you know, that's where the strength energy is coming through, that's helping you to merge and to come into vibrational harmony, the perfect vibrational match with what you need in order to overcome something significant. And you kind of have fate and destiny working at play as well, as we've got this transiting North Node through your sign as well. And so, you know, the kind of overshadowing impact, if you like, of the eclipse, you know, is a storyline that plays out dominantly through April, but is going to carry you through the weeks and, you know, the next few months as well. And, you know, I think that the distorted perception that perhaps you've held or other people have held about something important and significant in your life is also being deconstructed. You know, some kind of revelation or something is coming to light that's helping you to kind of see the wood for the trees. And I think that's really important because the road leads you to where you're supposed to be in April. Now, initially, granted, Aries, it might not necessarily feel like it's where you want it to be. Nonetheless, we have to kind of almost yield to the fact that, you know, we're not going to get all of the answers, but we are going to start to see powerful glimpses, and the moon is telling us that powerful glimpses, and almost like a psychic knowing, a deep understanding of like why something needs to move us in this direction, even if we don't understand it or don't fully appreciate it or want it at that exact moment. There's like a divine timing to something that's happening right now, okay? I also think that, you know, there is some confusion about what is surfacing in and around that early part of the month. And in that, and this is partly around this Mercury shifting retrograde in your sign, this is where some of the frustration can arise, because we feel like all lights are at green and then all of a sudden there's a stop sign, or there's something that kind of gets spiked or shows up that seems to be at odds with everything else that you feel or that you're sensing into. And of course it can make communication particularly challenging, just trying to get your message across. And that can just wind you up in ways from an emotional perspective that could see you just kind of, I suppose, with some outbursts, or, you know, just kind of feeling like you want to throw the towel in, or there's just something that's just getting under your skin in quite a significant way. So, you know, all of the charge that comes through in the month of April, you know, if we allow it, can be incredibly exhilarating and enlightening. But we also have to find ways to temper when that frustration rises or that confusion comes in. Don't try to force the point. Try to redirect your energy as much as possible, because there will be a time and a place to revisit a conversation or to revisit something that needs to be, I want to say, like, represented again. I also want to say, though, there's going to be pieces from the past that are coming back, and the moon is almost like revealing another part of a puzzle that has perhaps, you know, left you kind of in the dark for some time, and all of a sudden now something's coming to light that's giving you a huge aha moment, okay? And, you know, as we make our way deeper into April and the sun shifts into Taurus, that second house for you, and then this Jupiter conjunct with Uranus is happening on the 20th, you know, we have this emphasis around your second house, which can honestly ignite something from a financial perspective for you. So there is set to be a huge shift or change. Remember, I said to you, your currency is in demand, so it can be a particularly potent and powerful time. I'm even being given the statement like iconic status, you know, so there's something that could take off, or some sort of you know, surprise incoming news or information. But, you know, you also want to be prepared that the turbulence that can come in, the surprises, the unsettling energy can, you know, often make something worse before it makes it better. And if you're, you know, in a particularly flux time in and around your prosperity, you know, you might find that, you know, something needs to be addressed, needs to be cleared, needs to be sorted. Ultimately, it's going to serve you. It's going to, you know, elevate you and put you on the right path. But again, in the short term, it might feel like it's going to get a little bit more intense before you can start to feel like that oxygen is coming in. Now we've got the Lovers coming through along with the Two of Cups here. With the Moon and the Devil showing up here, there definitely feels, you know, combining with that Mercury energy, some sense of uncertainty. What I will say, and to the positive, is that Juno is stationing direct in Virgo. Juno, the asteroid goddess. Remember, she went retrograde on the 12th of January. She's been in Virgo since October 23. And so there was this huge emphasis of going back over the details in terms of relationships, contracts, especially partnerships. And so, you know, we were looking for these breakpoints, the kind of the opportunity to have a break clause, the need to renegotiate. And so, you know, a lot of that felt quite disruptive. It felt challenging, especially as we moved through February with all of the intensity around, you know, what we felt regarding relationships. And so now we have this stationing direct with Juno and an opportunity to kind of come to an agreement, come to a new understanding and a commitment. And it does bode well along with Jupiter and Uranus in terms of that energy for contracts. So the signing, the commitment coming through with Juno stationing direct the next day feels incredibly auspicious. And what I will say is, even though we have potentially, you know, some challenges around that, and certainly highlighting things that, you know, you need to be aware of within your own subconscious prosperity story and your own limitations. You know, I think there's a big ask here with these major arcana coming through and saying, look, you know, these are the things that are coming in and they can be received by you in a really powerful way. But if you have an incredibly distorted perception, it's going to be much more challenging to identify why this is serving you and why this is good for you, or you're in a position to give yourself permission to say yes to something. That said, because we have the beautiful vibrational harmony coming in of the 2 and the 6 here, what it's also telling me is that you understand the value. You can see the kind of jewel, you can see the prize, if you like. So you know you have to kind of maybe go through this gauntlet a little bit, or there's something that you're going to have to deal with to overcome. But ultimately, there's something at the end of it that feels like it's going to be the reward, and certainly, you know, offer you something that is in alignment with what you seek, what your desires are. And remember, like I said, all your desires are wrapped up in the actions that you're taking, and you're certainly going to feel motivated in the month of April to take those actions. The full moon comes in the sign of Scorpio on the 23rd. And again, this feeling of, you know, something sort of deeper, something that hadn't been addressed, now coming to light, powerful truths that can help set you free. I really feel for you, Aries, that the power and the momentum that arrives in April for you is here to help set you free. I think there's also this spike around feeling incredibly either triggered in a way that feels quite jealous or envious or insecure. And you can identify it within yourself and be like, you know, this might sound a little crazy. Like, I know I'm being irrational. I know I'm kind of overthinking this. Nonetheless, I'm having this emotional experience in and around that full moon in Scorpio. The benefit, of course, of Mercury going direct a couple of days later is going to serve you, because it does mean that you'll just start to feel like you can express yourself. And you know, I think some of the things need to be cleared up that, again, perhaps have been taken out of context, if you like, or you're getting like one piece of the puzzle. Be mindful of people sharing sort of half the story with you and then you kind of making up what that then means. It's almost like there's a bit of gossip going on and it kind of doesn't really paint a true picture, but if you let it, it can really get under your skin on an emotional perspective. You know, as we make our way towards the end of April, you've got a huge amount of creative energy that's bubbling up that, directed in the right way, can also be the thing that's going to give you the power and the wherewithal, the determination to set you free from something that has really been a struggle for you. So maybe you felt like, I'm in the wrong job, I'm in the wrong relationship, I'm in the wrong property, I'm not in the right location, you know, I'm not, you know, enjoying the right diet. So whatever it is that sort of really felt like I just can't find a way through, I feel like that queen is coming forth, like helping you understand and see the light that's within you and what you have, you know, to be able to address these things. It's like you've got what it takes and you find a solution that's going to work for you. You know, you might have been offered many things in the past that have said, this is how you need to approach this or deal with it, and none of it's really worked out, none of it's resonated. All of a sudden in the month of April, it's like, this is my thing. This is what I need. And that's the power of, you know, the eclipse energy, this conjunction coming in, and it's just having this massive shake up, wake up energy. And of course, we move toward the end of the month, and Mars, your ruling planet, is powering into your sign on the 30th. Just ahead of it, Venus also shifting into Taurus, loves to be in the sign here. And so we have this chemistry, this sensuality, this passion, and all of a sudden it feels like what may have felt impossible, or what felt like it came into kind of almost, you know, cause you some sort of disruption or distress even, now you can see how you can work with the energy. It's like, okay, now I know what to do with this. And that's going to make a huge difference for you. As I said, the fire in your belly never goes out all through the month. It's just that at times it can be utilized in ways that feel really empowering, and at times it's going to feel like it's the sort of fire dragon that you can't tame, and left to its own devices is going to, you know, cause a little bit of mayhem and chaos. But there is a follow through that helps to guide you all the way through April. Okay, now if you're new to the channel, our last 3 cards we cover in my extended reading, Aries. You can find that in the comment and description box below for the link. You'll have another 30 minutes or so of us going deeper into this reading, as well as looking at your personal question and a relationship card for you as well. So I hope you'll join me for that. So I'm just going to go ahead and clarify the reading and see what else the cards want to bring through for this month ahead. My Sacred Soul Support this month, we're going to look at a journey to help you elevate your prosperity consciousness. And we're also going to do a journey with the asteroid goddess Juno and really learn the lessons of what we've been through in this recent transit, and how we can work with her more effectively as she continues this journey through Virgo over the next few weeks and months. Okay, we've got another devil showing up here. Interesting. 2 of Cups, 2 of Swords. Choices, decisions to make here. 3 of Cups. You can find my sacred titles, my book, my deck, all the Sacred Soul support, my membership, ways to work with me over on the website, romywiser.com. Another 2 of Cups here. King of Cups. A lot of desire coming in and chemistry there. I mean, I think it's set to be an incredibly heightened experience through the course of this month. It's almost like what you do come into contact with, it's kind of sizzling, it's charged, it's magnetic, and, you know, for many of you that will make for some very powerful experiences. And again, can be directed in terms of, you know, where your focus lies. High Priestess, Knight of Swords. Remember, of course, the Mercury retrograde in your sign, you know, it's going to be bringing things specifically back for you to reassess, reevaluate, you know, take a moment to kind of consider the value that they have or the message that they want to share. And so that inward experience can be deeply valuable in a month where there's an awful lot externally that's going on. Okay, so all the decks I use are always listed below, Aries. You'll find them underneath the video. Just going to look at Life Soul Vision, my own deck now, see what wants to come through for us. Soul Stories, interesting. Remember, huge karmic clearance happening, and, you know, we're still in the axis of Aries and Libra all the way through to mid-2025. So there's more revelations happening this month, and, you know, of particular note for you. But, you know, the theme, if you like, will continue throughout the rest of this year into the early part of next year, for you to address and, you know, come into an understanding, I think, really where destiny is driving you forward. We've got Casting Out Constellations. We've got the Spirit Stag coming through. Maverick of the Light, Dancer of the Shadows, Dragon energy here. Energy Conversations. They all feel like quite like heavy hitters. And there we've got our Vortex of Boundless Grace. Just softening the tone a little bit here. Beautiful. Okay, so let's have a look at a couple more oracles. We'll explore these messages in your extended reading. We've got balance, stability, standing firm, I think, is the important one. And she also almost comes through with that energy of Juno as well. So I think, you know, needing around that sort of mid-month to be very aware of where not only you need to stand your ground, but you understand the implications of something is the message that's also coming through. Understand the implications, perhaps, of what you're investing, committing, agreeing, or of what's about to happen, and then what that means for you. There's something really pertinent about that message around that timing, okay? So we've got our astrology cards. We've got 7th house and relationship coming through for you. Okay, so something perhaps being triggered or coming to light around a significant relationship through the month of April that's also a bit of a game changer for you. It's a huge time of regeneration, and you know, it's almost like you're doing this bigger excavation, I think, to kind of understand your own agenda. And there's going to be something exhilarating that I feel comes from all of the roads that are leading to quite a powerful conclusion for you in April. I hope you'll join me as we continue this conversation. Thanks for tuning in and being here, Aries. Have a beautiful solar returns. Enjoy this power-packed month, and I will see you again next time. Bye.